question is that the report of the Intelligence and Security Committee on the 2012-13 financial review of the Government Communication Security Bureau and the New Zealand Security Intelligence Service be noted. Those of that opinion will say aye. Contrary, no. The ayes have it. Members, I understand that the next review the members wish to debate is the financial review of the Finance and Expenditure Committee on Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority. Honourable Ruth Dyson.
Thank you, Mr Chairman. Just a few days ago, my Labour colleagues and I went to visit the home of Mrs Boyd, who has been waiting for over 3 years for her house to be repaired. On several occasions, she's been told that she's just about to move out. So she's packed up all her possessions and waited. And nothing has happened. For over 3 years, this fine and feisty woman in her 80s has waited with her entire possessions packed into cardboard boxes, living as if she's in a refugee camp because of the incompetence and arrogance of EQC and her insurance company. This is not acceptable in a developed country, Mr Chairman, and the agency that is charged with leading our recovery, the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority, is, like EQC and the insurance companies, providing more obstacles to our recovery than it is providing support and recovery itself. And I regret to say that I hold the Minister entirely responsible for that bureaucracy, the burden that had been put on Canterbury people, because I think that Minister is out of touch. It may well be because the scale of the job is just too big. It may be that he has got such a massive bureaucracy in the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority now, over 300 bureaucrats in a government department that was meant to be an enabler of recovery, that was meant to drive and support other agencies, which is now being described by everyone across the political spectrum, from the residents through to the property developers in the CBD. That authority is now being described as more of an obstacle than anything else imaginable. And I think the Minister is in denial about it. It's exactly the same as the situation with Mrs Boyd. When Mr Brownlee was told by the media about Mrs Boyd's case, he said, "That's disappointing. Clearly, somebody's dropped the ball. That's disappointing." What makes the Minister angry? What makes the Minister so fired up that he actually wants to not address individual by individual cases, but wants to fix the system so that Canterbury can get back onto a path of recovery? Disappointing is what you might be if a call was like a week or two late. Right. But 3 years too late is a lot more than disappointing, and I think it should make the Minister angry, and I think the Minister should be getting in the head of his Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority and say, get some action in our region. As a constituency MP, I can't imagine how he isn't exactly on top of the issues that our constituents face, but from his response to that case and to others, he seems completely out of touch. Well, that's actually consistent with the rest of the behaviour of his Cabinet colleagues. Breeze into Canterbury, go to the opening of an envelope. It would be an opening of an oyster if we had them in Canterbury. Turn a sod and then say, aren't we doing well for the people of Canterbury? And catch the next plane out. Very rarely getting off the Memorial Ave highway. Quick zoom into the city, back out again to the airport and out of town. Come over to our side of the city, other ministers, and see how we are living. See how people day in, day out are coping with the lack of support from the Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority. The scale of damage, both physical and emotional, in our region, it's huge. For some, it has been overwhelming. It's my view that at times like this, all our leaders should be pulling together should be sharing their collective skills and saying what's the agreed vision and how do we all do our bit to get there. We haven't seen any of that. I think it's a wasted opportunity. We've seen in Waimakariri and Selwyn the mayors and the councillors getting on with it. What we saw for 2.5 years was the Minister for Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Authority throwing pot shots at the then mayor, and recently he started it up with the current mayor. This is an opportunity to work together that should not be wasted, reconnect with the people of Canterbury, show some leadership and some vision, use the powers of the authority to help others.
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Jerry Brownlee.
Mr Speaker, I think that was a deplorable speech. And what I have to say is